Hey, what's up guys, OSG back with the next installment of the Commodore Years. We're up to 1985, a landmark year for the Commodore 64. By now, developers had really found their rhythm. The arcade ports were sharper, the original titles were more ambitious, and the C64 had firmly established itself as a home computer for gaming. We're covering 20 of the best games from this incredible year, and honestly, this was one of the hardest lists I've had to put together. So let's get straight to it, counting down the top 20 Commodore 64 games of 1985. We start with Scaraboos, a first-person maze adventure that pushed the C64 to its limits. Set in an Egyptian pyramid, it mixed exploration, puzzles, and an eerie atmosphere to great effect. The smooth 3D movement was jaw-dropping for the time, and the creepy music only added to the tension. It was and still is one of the most technically impressive atmospheric titles of its day. At 19, it's Mad Doctor, a horror-themed strategy game where you build your own monster piece by piece. You scavenge body parts, conduct experiments, and try to bring your creation to life, all while keeping angry villagers at bay. Darkly funny and wonderfully weird, it's one of those early C64 oddities that still fascinates players today. Number 18 is Beachhead 2, a follow-up that turned the original's war action into a collection of mini-battles, from rescuing hostages to firing cannons and dueling with machine guns. The speech synthesis and the two-player mode made this a real crowd pleaser. It was bigger, louder and just plain fun, a perfect mid-80s action spectacle. Medic! 17 goes to Hypersports, the successor to Track and Field. It added events like swimming, skeet shooting and weightlifting with that same button mashing intensity. The C64 version captured the arcade excitement surprisingly well, making it a favourite for multiplayer showdowns. At 16 we have something completely different, Little Computer People, essentially the ancestor of The Sims. It will let you watch and interact with a tiny virtual person living in your computer. Feed him, play with him and even get letters from him. It was charming, experimental and way ahead of its time. At 15, it's Ocean's bizarre and brilliant tie-in to the pop band Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Instead of a rhythm game, you explore a surreal 3D town, solving puzzles to achieve pleasure, love, faith and sex. The creativity was off the charts and it became one of the strangest but most original licensed games of the decade. At 14 we step into the ring with Barry McGuigan's boxing. This one balanced strategy and time-based controls, jabs, hooks and stamina management, giving it surprising depth. It helped bring sports realism to the C64 and paved the way for better fighting games down the line. '13 is The Pawn, a groundbreaking graphic adventure from Rainbird. Combining detailed illustration with rich text, it was one of the most visually stunning games of its time. Its witty writing and challenging puzzles raised the bar for interactive fiction and showed how storytelling on the C64 could be both beautiful and brainy. At number 12 we have Heart of Africa, another ambitious title from Electronic Arts. You explore 19th century Africa in search of a lost treasure, trading goods and managing your resources along the way. It's an adventure game mixed with light simulation and its open world design was years ahead of its time. 11 brings us Alice in Wonderland, a delightful blend of text and graphics that captured the spirit of Lewis Carroll's story. Full of strange characters and whimsical puzzles, it stood out for its charm and imagination. It was accessible, family-friendly, and a great example of narrative design done right on the C64. Kicking off the top 10 is Boulder Dash 2. The original was a hit, but this sequel refined everything. Tighter level design, better pacing and smoother controls. Digging through dirt, collecting gems and dodging rocks never felt better. It's a perfect example of how to improve on a classic formula. At 9 we have Mercenary, a first-person open-world sci-fi adventure that felt astonishingly advanced for 1985. You explore a fully 3D planet, pilot vehicles, and work out how to escape. It was non-linear, immersive, and full of possibilities. The kind of experience that showed just how ambitious C64 developers could be. Number 8 goes to Mail Order Monsters, a clever mix of strategy and arena combat. You genetically design monsters, arm them with weapons, and pit them against their rivals in battle. The customization options were incredible for the time, and it laid early groundwork for the monster raising and battle games that will come years later. At 7 it's Micropro's Silent Service, a realistic World War II submarine simulator. You stalk enemy convoys, manage your torpedoes and try to survive depth charges. It was tense, authentic and meticulously detailed. Classic Micropro's design that showed how deep simulation could work brilliantly on an 8-bit system. Sixth place goes to Summer Games 2, one of the best multiplayer titles of the era. Epix refined everything from the original. Sharper graphics, smoother events, and that Olympic-style presentation. Javelin, cycling, rowing, every event felt unique and satisfying. If you had your friends over, this was a game to play on the C64. At number 5, martial arts had arrived in style with Way of the Exploding Fist. Fluid animation, distinct moves, and satisfying sound effects made it a revelation. It wasn't just button mashing, timing and technique mattered. It became one of the most popular fighting games of the decade and inspired countless imitators. In number 4 we have The Bard's Tale, a massive dungeon crawling RPG that set a new standard for fantasy games. Deep party creation, detailed maps and memorable music drew players into its world. For C64 owners who loved Dungeons & Dragons, this was the holy grail, complex, rewarding and utterly absorbing. Number 3 goes to Winter Games, a highlight of Epic's legendary sports series. Events like ski jumping, speed skating and biathlon looked incredible for the time and played brilliantly. With multiplayer support for up to 8 people, it was a party favourite and remains one of the most polished, fun releases of the 8-bit era. Runner-up is Paradroid, Andrew Braybrook's masterpiece of design. You control a maintenance droid aboard a ship overrun by rogue robots, and by hacking them you can take over stronger units. It's part shooter, part strategy with brilliant mechanics and replay value. Paradroid is often cited as one of the best C64 originals ever made. And at number 1, it's Elite, the game that changed everything. A vast open galaxy, hundreds of star systems, and total freedom to trade, fight and explore. Procedural generation made its universe feel endless, and the wireframe 3D graphics were mind-blowing for 1985. Elite wasn't just a game, it was a vision of what gaming could become. It defined the space sim genre, and it remains one of the most important releases in 8-bit history. Okay, so that's it for 1985, the year that the Commodore 64 really hit full stride. From the infinite depths of Elite to the martial arts mastery of Exploding Fist, from monster breeding to submarine warfare, this was gaming variety at its best. Next up is 1986, where the C64 era truly explodes with creativity and competition. If you're enjoying this series, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next countdown. Also, if you would like to become a Patreon and support the channel like these guys going up the screen right now, get on over to my Patreon channel where you can pledge for as little as $1. That will get you perks like your name in the C64 crack draw, end credits, video requests, giveaways and more in the future. Till next time, this is OSG signing out.